Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to put makeup on my face and we are going to go from this to this. I really hope that transition wasn't like really boring and you're not clicking out right now. Please stay, please stay. It's kind of the point for it to be like a little bit boring and let me explain. Here's like my thesis statement behind this video. I feel like for most of my time being like an avid makeup user, I've had one area of makeup that has been my favorite. And from like 2012 to 2016, it was lip products. And I think part of that was because that was like the trend. And another part of that was because that was like my college years and I did enjoy a good eyeshadow palette. I had gotten the Chocolate Bar palette when that came out, and I got the Naked palette when it came out, but those were like harder for me to get. They were more money, and lip products were very accessible to me, and I really liked them. But I think what happened there was I kind of got too many, and it started stressing me out. And then I switched over to my love being eyeshadows, which I mean, it still is. I'm not out of the eyeshadow thing, but a similar thing happened where I was so into eyeshadows that I accumulated so many and it started being a source of stress instead of just pure enjoyment. On top of that, I feel like my tastes and the trends have changed a bit since like 2017, where eyeshadow used to mean I'm doing something really elaborate, something very detailed on my eyes. And a lot of the time now I do enjoy doing more simple looks, but I think the thing that holds me back from doing really simple looks that I probably would like the look of on my face the best is that I really enjoy the process of putting on makeup. And I feel like if I'm just doing one quick neutral over the eye, it doesn't satisfy my artistic cravings and my desire to play with color and put things on my face. So I've been kind of thinking about how to remedy that. I don't want to only put on makeup so I can look my best. That's just not what I like about makeup. And at the same time, face products. I've enjoyed buying face products here and there. It's not like I never buy them, but for a while I was just trying to like pan blushes, just trying to pan highlighters, and I did that for a lot of them. And I had a day a couple weeks ago that I was like, okay, which blush and highlighter do I have to use? And I'm like, I don't have any that I have to use right now. I mean, I have some that I'm like planning to declutter, but none that I like enough to want to just completely try to use up. And that brought me to start thinking about how I don't like deliberately apply face products like that. So a couple times since then, I've really intentionally sat down and played with my base products, spent more kind of time and heart on it, and I like the experience of it. And I feel like when I put more effort into my base, my face, it allows me to loosen up a little bit with my eyes. And that's where we are today. So I want to go through a whole face and kind of just do my process. I don't know if it's really going to look any different than if I was just kind of putting them on like I normally do, semi-haphazardly, but to me it feels different. It feels like I'm choosing my face products with care. I'm putting things on maybe a little bit more slowly and gently. Sometimes I'm using my hands and I feel like literally getting a hands-on experience enhances the experience of putting on makeup. On top of that, I have two products that I want to show off a bit that I'm very excited about. I was gifted a couple products by Merit. I didn't think that a channel the size of mine would have the opportunity to get products from a brand that I'm genuinely interested in for a long time, but they had reached out to me and I had already been looking at their products on the Sephora website, and actually one of the products that they gifted me was what I was like planning to buy at the Sephora sale, and I ended up deciding not to, and I was kind of like already committing my budget to other things, and I was like, I'll just buy it another time, but I have it now. So I've been playing with those products for a couple weeks too, and they are, to me, part of this face routine. I don't have to make a full video about them, but I'm just inspired and I just wanted to kind of work them into this look. My cat is meowing at me. Hi, baby. So yeah, that's going to be part of it. I actually have an affiliate link for them too, but I mean, as I said, they're products that I'm genuinely interested in and I've been trying out, and I'm going to show you how I've been using them. So yeah, do with that information what you will, but let's get into it. This feels very radical to me, but I think I actually am going to start out with my face as opposed to my eyes because I'm not anticipating having a lot of fallout with like a more simple look. So yeah. I had a time that I was kind of like buying into foundation releases more, but I've just realized that like it's hard to find a product that you love, and the chances of that new product coming out and being exactly perfectly what you've always needed, like the chances are pretty slim. And I feel like that's discouraged me from buying a lot of new foundations. So I have two right now. The one that I'm going to use that I like the best is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. I've heard mixed reviews on this and I don't know why. It does have an odd nutty scent. I'll give it that. But I find that the thing that I want most right now with, you know, like a base product is I just want it to look natural, and I feel like this offers me a little bit of coverage. It looks like my skin and it's long wearing, and when it starts to fade away, it fades away in a really even way. I've found with other foundations that I've used throughout the years that like I'll have like a big splotch somewhere, or like around my nose it'll look like weird and crummy, and I don't like that. This works for me, and this is my number one. The other one that I have is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop, and I feel like a lot more people like this. I don't like it. I don't dislike it enough to want to declutter it, but it's the kind of thing that like if I'm not going to be wearing makeup for very long, or if I'm just filming, I use this often just to kind of like use it up, but I wouldn't put this on and go out all day. I feel like on me, this looks very powdery on my skin, which is weird and you wouldn't expect from like a light coverage liquid, but yeah, so not using this one today because I'm putting on my makeup thoughtfully, but yeah. This is the only one that I like. I feel like maybe my perfect foundation collection nowadays would mean I have this and maybe something with a little bit more coverage. I used to use the Too Faced Born This Way, and I feel like I could see myself having that back in my collection for like a more coverage option. Maybe if it's like on like an Ulta Beauty sale or something. And actually I'm getting ahead of myself because I don't start with this. I start with the base. So, all that being said, I'm going to use this NYX Marshmallow Primer. I got it in a Trend Mood box in, I think, the end of 2020. I just started using it recently, and no complaints. I do feel like it gives me like a nice, smooth base to put on my makeup. So I've been using it. When I put on my makeup during the day, I generally use the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. I also have like the little like glow screen of this, and I also have like a little sample of the Glow Recipe sunscreen. So I'll just choose one of those sunscreens during the day, but it's nighttime now, so just the regular old primer. Does anyone not put on primer with their hands? I feel like back in the days of like the super big gurus and their super huge collections, I could imagine like Nikkie Tutorials being like, this is my primer brush. So I'm going to put on my CoverGirl Skin Milk. And then also I have my Tarte Shape Tape. I still find this to be like the ideal level of coverage for me. I feel like people moved on and they're like, oh, don't worry, it's not like the Tarte Shape Tape. And I'm like, I like the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't feel like I have particularly big under eye circles or anything, but I feel like if I don't use the Tarte Shape Tape, then you'll see like, just like, you know, that like ridge there, that line there, and it makes me feel like my makeup looks unfinished. So I feel like that's my thing. Like if I'm wearing makeup, I want to cover that. I used to use a foundation brush such as this one, which is the Sigma F80, I think. Yeah, Sigma F80. I got this pretty pink one. I think this was like a breast cancer fundraising product. But I used to go in with this just for my foundation, and then afterwards I would take like a domed brush and blend out my concealer. And nowadays I just feel like that's completely pointless. And this brush gets under my eyes well enough. And I feel like that's like a simplification of my routine that really works for me. Just like how I used to bake under my eyes every day, as I'm sure a lot of people who were consuming beauty YouTube years ago did, and I just feel like it doesn't change anything. I feel like going in with powder and just like patting it under my eyes is just fine. So that's what I'm going to do now. Usually what I use for powder is this CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder. I have it in the shade Fair. I'm working through it. I don't love it, and I think that my next powder, I might go for more of like a powder foundation. I don't know, I'm kind of still working through those thoughts, just because I feel like this one gets the job done, but I wouldn't mind like a little bit more coverage down there. So yeah, I'm not committed to that one, but I think what I'm going to do today is I have this quad from Hourglass. It was like a holiday release a couple years ago. Yeah, the Ambient, I'm sure it has a more specific name, but I don't see it. But it has one of those finishing powders in the top here, and I'm going to use that. Usually I just use like the blush and highlight from here, but I do want to use that, and probably that will be my next step after I finish up this CoverGirl one, just to kind of like see what other powders I have kicked around my collection. And this bronzer too. I have this brush that I got, I think it was from an Ipsy bag. It's the Luxie 660 Precision Foundation. I could not imagine using this brush for foundation, but it's perfect for me for under eye powder. There was a time that I thought maybe I would purchase this powder to be my under eye powder, but I don't know. I feel like the magic of Hourglass, like I do like their powder products, and I do like using this blush and this highlighter for when I want something that like I know will look good in person. These look good in person. But after last year, yeah, I think I finished it up last year, I had used an entire pan of the Charlotte Tilbury face powder before I had this CoverGirl one, and that was like a $50 powder that I was like, there was no reason for me to spend $50 on it. So I'm kind of wondering if I would have the same experience if I bought this Hourglass one. And especially now that I'm budgeting, I mean, maybe I would count this as a replacement if I truly ran out of everything else, but that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for my under eye powder. But I do spend a lot of money on other makeup that I know I'll never use up, and this I actually do go through, so I don't know. I didn't use bronzer for a lot of years. I think there was a point with, you know, with beauty YouTube, because I've been someone who's watched a lot of beauty YouTube for a really long time. There was a time that like you put on your contour, and then you buff that out with your bronzer, and then you put on your blush, and then you put on your highlight, and that's just like what you do for cheeks. And that was what I did. And then I just realized in regular life, when I turned my face, my cheek would look like Neapolitan ice cream. It would look ridiculous, and it looked great on the people demonstrating it on camera, but then like they're influencing me to go out into real life like that, and it did not work. Maybe it was my application, maybe it wasn't like that for everyone, but it was definitely like that for me. And I feel like because of that, I did away with bronzer a long time ago, but I'm kind of getting back into it because I feel like I do enjoy the look of it on my face. I like how it warms my face up, and if I apply it lightly with a light hand, it's good. So I have this Too Faced one that I've had for a really long time, and I know I'm applying my makeup thoughtfully today, and I am trying to pan this one, but like, I want to use this one. I also want to use it up, and then I want to replace it with a lighter bronzer, because I think this one, if I'm not very careful with it, it looks very muddy on my face. So yeah, this is the Sweet Tea bronzer. It looks like this. There's some pretty good pan in the center. Hopefully by the end of the summer I'll use this up. Something else I want to do that I don't normally do, but I do want to kind of lightly nose contour. I did it for the first time in a really long time recently, and I just liked it. So I have this small fluffy brush that I use, and I guess I will kind of try to deliberately go into the lighter side of this bronzer, just since I have the option. This bronzer is pretty shimmery too, which I think I like it, but maybe I want my perfect bronzer to be a little bit lighter and like a little bit less shimmery. But I like that it has some glow to it, because I would be more nervous that if I put on something matte that it would end up looking too chalky and it would end up looking unnatural with the rest of my skin in real life. So with this fluffy brush, I just want to kind of trace the outskirts of my nose. Oh, that looks a little harsh, but I could always use my powder over it. And I like to go into that kind of like, that arch onto my brow. Yeah, this, if I was wearing this in person, I might need to go a little lighter on that. But we're just having fun today, and I don't think I'm going anywhere tonight. Got a lot of laundry to do. I used to always go right under my lip also. Oh, and I think under the tip of my nose. It's all coming back to me. Yeah, that might look a little harsh. So I'm just going to take my powder brush again. I'm not going to put any more product on it, but I'm just going to kind of lightly fluff. It is funny, kind of like with everything I just said about like my cheeks looking bad in person when I used to do all those steps, because I'm not a perfectionist with makeup, and I feel like most of the time that I'm throwing on my blush, I'm kind of just like, and then I'll watch back my footage and I'm like, I really could have spent an extra second doing that. So I feel like for me, that ties into spending more time on my face to actually like think about the blending on my cheek. You know how like for years we've all been conditioned, or maybe just me, to think that putting cream over powder is like a mortal sin. It's like the worst thing that you could commit in makeup. I just kind of feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like maybe if like you baked your face and you have like a really thick layer of powder on it, then it wouldn't interact well. But I feel like for my makeup purposes, where like the powder I have on my face right now is just like a thin fluffing, it's not that big of a deal to go in with a little bit of cream. So that's what I'm going to do. Merit. So I was able to choose the two products that I got from Merit, which I think is really cool, because then like I'm actually getting to use and talk about products that I genuinely want. I feel like it works better for everyone. So I was able to choose two. My runner-up for those two was their cream cheek, because I realized something about cream cheeks. It was around the end of last year that I did my blush collection video, and I said some pretty harsh words about cream cheeks, and I've had time to reflect on that, and I will admit I was a little harsh, but I don't like sticky cream cheeks, and I feel like sometimes you just use one sticky cream cheek and you're like, oh, of course cream cheeks are sticky. And that's where my head was then. But I've since realized that not all cream cheeks are sticky, and the ones that aren't look beautiful and look so much more natural in real life than powders do. So yeah, the third runner-up product that I wanted was the Merit Flush Bomb Cream Blush. I've also since swatched it in Sephora, the soft peach shade Beverly Hills. It looks really pretty, and Bomb, I think, is a good summary of what I want. Like I want softness in it, but I don't want it to be too much pigment, too intense or anything sticky. And I know from touching theirs that it felt very like smooth and creamy, so I hope I'll get to use that sometime in the future, and I think the idea of that is influencing what I want to do on my cheeks now. So I have these two liquid blushes. My favorite one is the Natasha Denona Puff Paint. This is in the shade Tan. I love the formula on this. I think they call this more of like a serum, and it's just so like soft, blendable, easy to use, like the perfect level of pigment. They have only like a couple colors in it though. It's this like tan one, which I like, but it's like almost too tan to look like a blush. And then there's a pink one that's like, I think might be too bright for me. And then there's like a berry that is just too deep for my preferences. I think that would look beautiful in a deep skin tone, but on me it would be bolder than I want it to be. So I am going to use this one, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of this Rare Beauty blush. It's in the shade Hope. It was from when they extended their line, but maybe that was even like a year ago now. I can't remember how long I've had this, a year or less. The thing with this blush is that I like the formula, but it's so intense, and it means that I have to baby it more to make sure that my cheeks aren't overrun by this product. So I'm going to try to go in mostly with this Natasha Denona. And then I'm just gonna do like the littlest dab of this Rare Beauty to mix in there. Just to give it like a little bit of pinkness back in there. I feel like I don't have good brushes for cream blushes. That rhymed. So I just go in with my hands and it gets the job done. I also find with both of these, like, I'm not worried about them setting. Like, I probably wouldn't leave them on my cheeks endlessly before I blend them out, but there's like no issue with putting them down and then blending out one and then the other. I like that. I like that color. Yeah, like you definitely get the tanness from the Natasha Denona, but it's not too much of like this peachy brown. Okay, so we're gonna talk about my first product that I picked out from Merit, which is the, let me look up the actual name of it, which is the Day Glow Highlighting Balm in the shade Kava. I wanted this because I just feel like as lacking as my cream blush collection is, my cream highlight collection is worse. I do have the Fenty one, and I like that, and I do have the balm that's in the e.l.f. Lip and Cheek, Active Lip and Cheek palette, and I like those, but I wanted something kind of like easier to use and standalone, and I did look up reviews on this before I requested it, and they looked really promising, and I can say I've been using this for a couple weeks, and I really like it. So it's the shade Kava, I'm not sure if I've said that, which is like a very neutral champagne, I would call it. I think it's a color that looks really, really nice with my skin tone, but at the same time, I don't think it has a base to it, which means that it might go with more skin tones than it appears to. I don't want to say that for sure, and I'm sure a lot of other creators with other skin tones have talked about this and can tell you better than I can. They also do have deeper shades, so I'm not sure if those are just deeper in the reflex or if they also have a pigment to them, but I just find with this one, it looks so natural on my skin because it's not competing with the base of it at all. You know, it's just like putting something on top of it, and I don't have to try to blend in the base to my skin. I hope that makes sense. So I found that when I'm not wearing makeup, I'll go right in with the stick and then I'll tap it out with my finger, and it looks so beautiful and so natural. Because it's a balm, it just works really well with your skin. And because it doesn't have a base to it or really like glitter to it or anything, it just has like a really nice sheen. It looks like maybe your cheeks are just a little bit dewy, you know? Maybe you just got back from spin class and your cheeks are glowing. Today I am wearing makeup, which you might remember based off, you know, how I just put it on. So what I like to do is just pick it up on my finger. It's nice also how it's like, it's very solid, like it doesn't feel like it's going to melt like chocolate any second. I don't know how far I'd push it. I don't know if I would have it in my bag on a warm day. I don't know. But it's like instantly a balm on my finger. And I think you could see what I mean there, how it has the, like, the glistenness, and maybe based on this, maybe it does have, like, you know, like, shimmer particles in it. But I feel like you can see my finger skin straight through. And it just makes that really nice wet shine there. I feel like the tone of it is so nice. It's not too icy, it's not too golden. The first time I put it on, I was like, did this even do anything? Like, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. But then I realized, like, it's doing exactly what it's meant to do. It's just giving, like, such like a healthy gleam to it. As I've talked about a lot, I'm very aware and concerned about, like, having too much of a tone in my highlighter and having that line of demarcation, having that, like, darkness right here. Something else I like about this is that, like, if this isn't enough shine for me for the day, I feel like it works really nicely kind of as a base, because this I can bring farther down than I would necessarily bring, like, a blingy highlighter. And then, like, today I'm going to use Meteorite from Terra Moons, which is like a super shimmery shadow. And I'm just going to tap a little bit on top of the balm, but like only higher up. And I feel like this wouldn't be enough highlight for me to only wear it up there, but this color wouldn't work for me lower, you know? I guess technically with powder highlighters you could do like an ombre effect anyway, but I just feel like it's so easy with the balm, and then it opens up my options because it gives myself like a little dewy base to plop a shadow on. And I feel like it's causing me to look at my shadows differently and look at them and be like, could I put that on my cheeks? You know? I like that. I just have one primer I always use. It's the Anastasia primer. It came, I think it was when I bought, it was either the Norvina Volume 3 or Volume 4 that came with this. But eye primers last forever. So I feel like either it would be really bad and I'd get rid of it, or it's just fine and then I use it forever, which is the case with this. I just threw that lid across the room. I think I might have taken too much. It won't last forever if I keep doing that. On my nails, I have these two Lights lacquer nail polishes that I bought in, I think it was March now? But how cute is that? It's like this neutral brown base is the shade Matilda, and then on top of that is Mirage. I talked about them in my what I bought in March video, but I've been loving wearing them together. And I feel like it really goes with my kind of like neutrals in a pretty interesting way kind of thing I got going on. So first I want to go into my crease with something light. This is kind of like my favorite travel hack when I'm trying to pack light. I'll use my blush as a crease shade. I don't know how original it is, but I feel original when I do it. I find also when I use blush as eyeshadow, because they tend to be more lightly pigmented, they blend really nicely and they don't go down harsh. And then extra bonus, if I'm wearing the same shadow on my eyes as I am on my cheeks, I feel like it just ties in really prettily. But I do want to use a powder blush for this, so I'm not going to use my same blush that's on my cheeks. I'm going to use the ColourPop Kiss and Tell. It's the little heart-shaped blush. And I feel like it's a really pretty kind of like brownie peachy pink. Yeah, super light just because I don't want to do nothing in there. Oh, and since I already have my base down, I can go right into my lower lash line with it also. And then to tie the cheeks into the eyes, I'm going to take that Terra Moon shade Meteorite and pop that on my inner corners. It's a lot more gold than I remembered when I first picked it up today, but I really like it. So I have two thoughts for my crease. I mean, technically I have like dozens or hundreds of pretty neutral shadows that I would love to pair with this look, but two in particular that I'm deciding between. My original thought when I conceived of this video idea was to use Angel Wings from Luxie. It's one of my favorite shades of theirs, if not the favorite. It's just this really pretty, kind of interesting taupe. I included this in my Star Wars palette, which the video went up like a week or two ago, and I said in that I was going to do a look with that soon, thinking of this one. But I do have a contender. So I'm gonna swatch them both. Let me do a swatch of this one first. It's such a nice shadow. I feel like sometimes when I talk about it, like you can't see the magic, but it does look really pretty on my finger right now. Oh, that's so pretty. I don't know. Might be hard to not use that one. I don't know. The other option is a shadow that I just got in the mail yesterday, so I haven't used it yet. It's Space Cowboy from Urban Decay. I know. How weird. I feel like this one's a bit of a cult classic. I became intrigued because Hannah Louise Poston did a video about like her shiniest shadows, and this one just looked so beautiful. And I know because I have this like format shadow. I have another Moondust in the shade Solstice, and then I also have Lucid, which is like a iridescent teal that I am using this month. And I just really like them. And because I was intrigued in this one, and I know I like the formula, and I know it's something I do grab for, I wanted it. So I thought this would also look really nice with this type of look. So I'm gonna do a swatch. I haven't even touched her yet. Oh, interesting. It feels like almost wet in the pan. Oh, that's so pretty too. These shadows are surprising, and I feel like they're probably the nicest shadows you can get from like a mainstream store. Oh, that's pretty. I'm resisting the temptation to just use both of them because I do want to keep this look really simple. And I think I am just going to stick with Angel Wings for today. This Urban Decay shadow is way more shimmery than I expected, which is great. Don't get me wrong, I love shimmer, but it's not as in line with my idea of the look for today. And also I think if you're interested in seeing both of these on the eye, you'll find way more videos of people using the Urban Decay one, I think. I could also use that again in the future. I'm sure I will. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, today is going to be Angel Wings. I love Angel Wings. I think about it often. I talk about it often. It's $3, have I mentioned that? And this is the type of shadow that I feel like it doesn't get enough credit in my collection, just because like, if I'm doing like a whole big look, I don't usually think of this. I like it in a more simple look, but I don't always reach for a more simple look. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Do you see how pretty and interesting that shadow is? So I always feel like a swatch doesn't do it justice. And even just like seeing it on camera doesn't always do it justice, but like this in the sunlight is gorgeous. I am going to do the rest of my eye makeup off camera just because that is always boring to me. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the eyes are pretty much all done. I got a little mascara spot there as I was putting my mascara on, and I was going to just fix it, and then I was like, I'll just show you because that's the kind of thing that we're doing today. So I think I've mentioned this before, but the thing that I've been doing recently when I have like a little spot to cover up or a little like, you know, concealer touch up or something like that is I've been using my Good Apple Balm Foundation. I guess technically this is my third foundation, but I'm never gonna put this all over my face again. I realized after that season ended that like, that doesn't work for me. It's just way too much, way too thick, doesn't look human-like. And I was going to declutter it, but then I realized that it works really well for like spot cover-ups. It kind of works like a spot concealer. So I have this kind of like big flat brush from Sigma. This is the large shader E60. And I like this because I feel like having a larger brush allows me to kind of like blend as I place it down a little bit instead of just like a little tiny brush that you just poke it in a spot. You know what I mean? but it does have like that angle that it lets me get in there. I probably could have used less product. Good as new. I'm gonna go in here also because I see that darkness in my eye crevice. Might as well even it out. You know how some people take like 2 hours during their makeup? Is this the kind of thing that they do? I also like this angle because you can see how gorgeous Angel Wings is. Wow, this is an Angel Wings appreciation channel. So the final order of business is lips, and for this I have my other product from Merit, which I'm super excited about. This is the signature lip, and I got it in the shade Baby. And as I said before, it was on the top of my wish list. I had watched a lot of reviews about it, read reviews about it, and I was pretty confident that I was going to get it and like it before I knew I had the chance to get it in PR. And my first impression taking it out of the packaging when I got it is that, like, it's heavy. And feeling it now, it's not ridiculously heavy, but it's heavy in the way that makes it just feel luxurious. I think that's kind of like their tagline too, like some like minimal luxury or luxuriously minimal or something like that, I think. And I feel like the packaging of the highlighter does just feel very minimal and lightweight, not too much to it, which like is fine. But when I took this out, I was like, that's nice. I really like it. I guess my only complaint, not even complaint, my only criticism perhaps, is I do like in lipstick ranges when the outer packaging looks different for different shades. So if you have multiple of them, you can just easily tell and grab them. And I believe that all of the lipsticks in this line have this same kind of like plastic amber case, but I am trying very hard to just like buy one of something that I like. This is the best color out of the range for me based on, you know, watching swatch videos and everything, and I plan to just keep with this one. So if you are someone also who just gets one, that doesn't really apply to you, but if you like to get the full line, maybe that's like a little bit of a pet peeve for you like it is for me, you know? I applied this for the first time in my Lipstick Every Day in April video, and I said then something that I stand by, that I do wish it had a little bit more of a edge on the top. Like other lipsticks have like a little bit of a point on the top that you can use to like really get in your Cupid's bow. This doesn't have that, and I'm not someone who regularly uses lip liners, but at the same time, I don't mind kind of applying it like a balm. Maybe that's kind of more the idea, that you're just kind of like plopping it on and it's not about like perfect precision. It's about minimalist design or something, but you're not going to get the perfect line just from this. I mean, maybe you will. I won't. I won't get the perfect line just from this. And when I say perfect line, it's still really perfect on my top lip. It's just in my Cupid's bow, I can't really get in there, you know? I find this to be such a beautiful My Lips But Better type of color. It's a little bit of like a muted pink. I've been wearing it so much. This has been like my grab and go when I don't want something specific, and I plan on continuing to use it as the grab and go. I'll say about this also, it's nothing long wearing, but I don't expect it to be. And I guess kind of similar to my foundation, the type of lipsticks that I like most on a daily basis are the kind that are going to come off gradually and not make me look like a fool when they're doing so. This will either kind of come off naturally when I'm eating and drinking, or if I needed to, it would just wipe off really easily. And I do prefer that to matte lips that tend to get very like dry and stick in there. And then I feel like if they do smudge, you can't do anything about it, you know? So yeah, I guess this is the finished look. And I love it. I want to say about the Merit products that before I accepted them, I had done my research and I was pretty sure that I was going to like them, and I wouldn't have accepted them if it was something that I wasn't at all interested in. I didn't think I would get this kind of opportunity for a long time, and I'm so excited, and I'm also so impressed that Merit is working with small creators like myself. I think it's really cool, and it makes me like them more than I already did. There was no requirement to make a dedicated video or to say any talking points or anything like that. If there was, I wouldn't have accepted the products. I figure that if I wasn't crazy about them, maybe I would kind of just mention it quickly in like the roundup of what I got this month, but I was inspired in part to do this full face because of how much I've been enjoying using them. So yeah, I'm gonna leave my affiliate link for them down below, my first and only affiliate link, and of course, no pressure, no expectations whatsoever, but if you've been looking for a highlighting balm or a new lipstick and you were interested in what I had to say in them, it would mean so much to me if you considered checking out my link. If you did, I would love you. No, I already love everyone that watches my videos, but I would be in love with you. They are available at Sephora, but if you use my link, you get to have me in love with you. And also, they send the first order in this cute little makeup bag. I remember I had seen Hannah Louise Poston's video when she first worked with them, and she showed this bag, and I thought it was just like a fancy thing that she got because she has a lot of subscribers and they sent her like the whole line or whatever. And I was like, cool, like good for her, but I didn't think I was gonna get one. And I did end up seeing on the website that every first order you get it. And I think it's so cute and pretty. It's like corduroy, brown corduroy. It has like a tie handle, which I think is really cute and interesting. It kind of reminds me of like the little like Balenciaga dumpling bags, just like the way it folds, you know? And it's machine washable. So instead of those like gross plasticky makeup bags that you can like wipe, but then enough things get like stuck in the seams and then it's like trash, you know? Machine washable. I really appreciate you for watching this and watching to the end. It really means a lot to me. I know this is kind of different than other things I do. I usually don't focus on face products, which I guess is the whole point of this video, is that I don't focus on face products. But I think I want to more in the future because I really like how this turned out, and I feel like applying your products with love and patience goes a long way. And I really like it. Angel Wings is good. And of course, this look and this idea is not brand specific, and I'm sure you already have lots of things at home that you could take more care of your base look with. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today. And please give me a like and subscribe if you like this. There's always way more content to come. And that's everything for today. Bye. I almost forgot, but I didn't.